Welcome back, Spartans. This is JAG, aka Leonidas, and on today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to complete the Princess Joust challenge, what deck to use, and how to win with this deck. As always, a couple things before we start. Check out my Facebook page, Twitter, and Discord. Links are in the description down below. Same thing goes if you're interested in either joining the main or the feeder clan. Now, this deck may or may not work for you. I used this deck and went 9-0, as you can see right here. Just to start off, I wanted to cover a bit of theory as to why this deck works really well, and if you're interested in just watching the replay, skip ahead right now. For this challenge, it's all about stopping the prince, which means you need high troop cards with low elixir count. Now, keep in mind, we expect people to bring cards like arrows, log, and zap, so we need to compensate by having several of these types of cards in our deck. That's why you see I included the Goblin Gang, the skeletons, and the goblin barrel in the deck right here. Also, our goal is to bait those cards out, so we can use the gob barrel to chip away at tower health. Now, we use the goblin gang, the princess, and the skeletons to do this. For more advanced players, you'll notice this is very similar to log bait, as this idea came from there with a slight modification that I made. Also, the average elixir is 2.9, meaning we can outcycle their defenses for the goblin barrel. Finally, Inferno Tower here is going to be acting as your defense against High-elixir cards and the multiple princes in later game stages. Alright, so I have 3 videos to show today. The first replay shows general deck play and strategy. The second replay shows how to face the hut decks. And the third replay shows how to face decks with High-elixir cards. Alright, so here's the first match, which is just general deck strategy, and mainly, more than anything, just try and toss out the goblin barrel as much as you can, try and outcycle anything they have, like arrows, for example. That's when you know that they use it against your princess or your goblin gang or skeletons, you're then going to throw arrows. At the beginning of the game, I always will try to test out the goblin barrel if I have it. You have to log in arrows to take out any low elixir troops like that. With the skeleton on the other side, keep your skeletons or your goblin gang on defense to protect there. You saw that I used both of them. You will need more than just the skeletons to stop one prince. You can use one goblin gang, though, to stop one prince. So you'll swing 2 elixir that way, so keep that in mind. Now here, again, I'm going to just drop the knight at the back, use the skeletons to keep its health up, so he'll attack the skeletons first, and the knight can stay up, and then use the princess. Again, baiting out those cards like arrows, log, and whatnot, so when I cycle back to my goblin barrel, I can swing it back. Don't worry about using your log or your arrows, you can use them pretty regularly. I mean, you have 2 of them in the deck, and that's the whole reason I made it so that you can throw them out there pretty quickly and not have to worry about having multiple princesses or like a firecracker or something like that have to face against and not have a card to stop it. So the other thing about this deck is you don't have to worry so much about attacking. The beauty of this is using the arrows or the log to stop other cards. Just try and get damage on the tower at the same time. And when you can, drop out Goblin Barrel at the tower as well. So you're going to notice, even if they're playing defensively and you're really not getting too much of much health taken off their towers versus the beginning of the game, just play defensively like you see here. You're eventually going to get a double elixir, you're going to get multiple princes, 2 princes, 3 princes, and this deck works actually really well. So use the arrows, use the log. As you can see, you're going to get damage on there, and eventually one of those princes is going to connect on the tower, as you saw, and the health then goes from 2,000 and even par all the way down to 1,000, and now you have the big advantage, and all you have to do then is cycle your spells around with your goblin barrel, and eventually it's good, or it's essentially done. So that's what you see here, just dropping the princess at the back along with the knight, baiting out those arrows, throw the goblin barrel. Surprised he didn't use the actual skeleton army at that point. I'm not sure if he was trying to do a big push there, which I guess he was with the giant skeleton, but that's not too much of an issue, especially when you start getting cards like Goblin Gang or Skeletons. I mean, the princes aren't going to do anything, so if he doesn't back it up with like an arrows or a zap or something, I mean, that's going to be really easy to stop. You don't even have to drop your Inferno. In this case, I don't even think I had to drop the Inferno in this game. About your 2 princes and your 3 princes, when you start seeing them come on your side with that, that's when you're going to probably want to start using your Inferno if you haven't already used it earlier. Mainly, you're going to drop it, and you're going to drop like skeletons in front of it, which will distract it long enough for it to kill 1 prince, and then the second prince will be able to be destroyed as well. So that's the end of this first replay. We're going to see more specific ones in the upcoming ones. Okay, so replay 2 is all about facing huts here. So they're going to have one hut. There is multiple huts. I did face a deck like that. Not too much difference. If anything, with multiple huts, you're going to get more positive elixir trade essentially for your arrows when you drop it and you're able to hit them, plus get the tower. Plus, if you can get another troop like Dark Goblin or something, then you're going to get major bang for the buck for dropping the arrows. So I think it's actually more difficult when they just have one, because you're not going to get as much of an elixir trade-off with using the arrows in that case. Guards are great. Arrows will kill them right away. Use that if you see them. I don't bother using the log. Keep the log for something else if they have it. Especially if they have skeleton barrel in that case, you're going to probably want to try and use log there to stop them. As you're going to see here, Goblin Gang goes in front of the princess. Keep her up. That's the whole point. I'm not so worried about backing up my princes on the other side. Don't worry about backing them up. They'll do their own thing. You're eventually going to get the damage out the tower. Really focus on more defending and launching the Goblin Barrel out to get damage, along with your princess as well. And if they have a spell like arrows, just bait it out. So in this case, again, dropping that Goblin Barrel just kind of didn't work out in that case, but I was trying to get at least damage with the tower locking onto the prince. As you can see, one skeleton with a Goblin Gang stops that prince easy on the other side. Could have done one Goblin Gang, but it was out of hand, so it didn't work out so well. Use the Inferno Tower with low elixir troops to defend long enough to stop pretty much any push they have. I did that multiple times, and you can actually swing pretty well from that. That's the nice thing with this deck, is you don't have to worry about too much the offensive power of the princes here. Like I said, you can cycle quickly too, which allows you to get back to that Goblin Gang, which is really going to be how you're going to defend everything. I started using the Inferno Tower here to stop the Skeleton Barrel, and the reason I did that instead of the log is mainly because I wanted to save it so I could start getting more damage at the actual tower on their end to kind of whittle back and chip away. As you can see right now, they're just trying to do the same thing, where they're just trying to spell cycle that fireball to eventually take out that one tower. So here I was able to, again, catch them off guard, where I got both of my princes, plus the Goblin Barrel. The Goblin Barrel worked really well in this case to distract the tower, distract some of the troops, and we were able to get massive damage as a result. So I wouldn't worry too much if you see your tower starting to drop. Again, defensive is the way to go. So as you can see on the right side, two princes going in. I mean, drop royal recruits. In this case, princess is going to be the best option against royal recruits. I mean, I've got that Inferno Tower again, dropping and dragging that Skeleton Barrel over. I think this was actually probably one of the tougher matches with Skeleton Barrel, as far as probably one of the closest matches I had in all of the 9. So use the same thing strategy-wise. You see the Skeleton Barrel, probably Inferno it, unless you really need the Skeleton Barrel for something else. And that's going to be pretty much at the end of this. I mean, I don't even need to drop the Goblin Barrel. I could just Skull Cycle, and I didn't need to in this case with the Prince. So that's how you kind of face the huts. Take it defensively, Spell Cycle if you can, along with the Goblin Barrel. So replay 3 is going to be my 6th match, which is going to be High-elixir cards. You're going to notice they have the Mega Knight and the P.E.K.K.A. right off hand, and they also have a HUD as well. So same thing, Princess is going to be great for stopping especially the Fire Spirits. You can just drop her at the back, she'll eventually get it, especially if they don't have arrows, which in this case I don't think they did. As you're going to see, one Goblin Gang is going to be enough to take out that Prince there. Don't even need the Princess technically there either, but she does help. And the Princes are actually pretty good against the Mega Knight. Good enough to do quite considerable damage where you don't have to worry too much. I did actually play the Inferno Tower though, just because I didn't really have any other options in this deck, but you don't need to. You're going to see a later game that I actually put the Inferno Tower up near the bridge, and I do that mainly because he starts dropping a lot of P.E.K.K.A.s and Mega Knights out there, and I wanted to kill them quickly so that I could then get my Goblin Barrel back over there. Plus I didn't want them to build an actual push, basically. So they're going to catch me soon off guard with the Hog. Not expecting it based on the deck, but we'll see what happens here. So Princess I was actually trying to get dropped at the bridge to damage not only the Firecracker, but also get the tower. Didn't work out well on me. You're going to see that here I'm going to drop the Inferno, and they're going to catch me off guard with that Hog after I drop the Knight, which is too bad. My main counter for the Hog, assuming they don't have a snowball, is just drop the Skeletons. In this case it worked out well though, with the Prince being on the same side. If they aren't on the same side, you might need to drop something else, but in this case it worked out really well for me, so I didn't have to worry too much. I did get a decent amount of damage, but it's not too bad. One Goblin Gang, it actually is pretty good for stopping, for the most part, the two Princes. You will have to drop something else, like a Skeleton or a Mega Knight, so keep that in mind. P.E.K.K.A. I don't really worry about too much. Like, the whole deck is basically stop princes. It's the same thing with the P.E.K.K.A. Mega Knight gets a little bit more iffy. But with 2 princes against the Mega Knight, then you don't really have to worry at all. Especially with their charge, they're going to be able to take them out, as you can see right here. And the great thing with this deck is if they don't have something like arrows, you can almost start cycling multiple princesses onto the field, and that's where you're going to really get an advantage as well, so you're able to do that. So that's why you're starting to see me drop multiple here. I'm doing a bit of a spell cycle to do damage against both of those furnaces and the tower. Firecracker is going to be great as well, if you can get that and the furnace included in there. And as you can see, I got 2 princesses on the left side of the field, now starting to go ham on that tower. And then I drop a Goblin Barrel as well there. I mean, they got Snowball, so that blocked them. It's actually, if you include Snowball in the deck, you can maybe do that instead of arrows if you don't have your high-level arrows, but you should more than the Snowball, if anything, because it comes earlier. And again, now this is where you're going to see the Inferno starts being played at the top of the bridge, and with the triple princes coming in, this is actually going to be pretty huge, because you need to get those High-elixir cards finished quickly. And use the Prince as a defense against the Mega Knight. It'll be enough to at least stop the defense. You're also not going to have to worry about things like the Hog once the triple princes come in at this point. That's why I only used 1 log to stop them, because I knew the charge was going to take out the rest. And yeah, so triple princes actually works out way better than the double prince as far as this deck goes, at least with High-elixir. So keep dropping it at the bridge. You're going to take it out nice and early, don't let them get the push, and then just keep cycling. And this is where they're not going to be able to keep up, versus you will, because you're going to have multiple princes on this. And that's kind of be the end of it. You can see that I'm whittling down that tower. Pretty much game over right now. That's going to be it, everyone, for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like the video as well, subscribe, hit that bell notification for future Clash Royale videos. And this is going to be JG signing off. Peace out. Catch you later.